Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us today. Topping our news at noon, the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office investigating an early morning shooting at a Sarasota intersection. The shooting sent one person to the hospital. ABC 7's Marla Spence joins us live from the scene with more on what happened. Marla?
Yeah, that's right, Scott. I can tell you the far right lane behind me on Lockwood Ridge Road is now open after being closed for that active shooting investigation. Sheriff's deputies were out here as early as 6 o'clock this morning. They say a driver was shot at the intersection of 17th Street and Lockwood Ridge Road. That person was sent to the hospital for their treatment. Now, we spoke to one woman pumping her gas just feet away from where the shooting happened. She says she was in shock. Someone would fire shots into a moving car, and she says she doesn't feel safe.
Because I live like right down the road, so I'm glad I'm moving. But yeah, it's very, very scary.
So far, the sheriff's office is searching for a suspect. Anyone with information is urged to call Crime Stoppers at 366-TIPS. I'm Marla Spence reporting live in Sarasota for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Marla, thank you. Well, in just hours, the federal government could shut down if Congress doesn't act. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are playing the blame game as talks over immigration stall. ABC's Kenneth Moton has the latest now from Washington.
Democrat leader.
Senate showdown. Lawmakers are pointing fingers just hours before a possible government shutdown.
Hold the entire country hostage until we pass an immigration bill they haven't even written yet. This is completely unfair.
Shame on the majority party, the Republicans, for saying that's the best they can do. We can do better.
President Trump tweeting this morning, Democrats want illegal immigration and weak borders. Shutdown coming? We need more Republican victories in 2018. The White House holding a rare mid-morning press briefing.
He's making continued calls this morning. He's called both bipartisan members today. He will continue to do that. He is leading on this issue.
The one-month deal to fund the government passed the House last night. Without a fix for nearly 800,000 young immigrants, the Dreamers.
Senate Democrats do not oppose anything that is in this bill. They're just holding this critical funding hostage for a deal on a completely unrelated immigration issue.
But not every Senate Republican is on board. There's a bipartisan immigration proposal on the table, but Trump has rejected it.
And you need to be a street fighter in many ways to clean up Washington, but you also need to be the president of all of us. There's a time to fight, and there's a time to deal. It is now time to deal.
If the government shuts down, a long list of things will happen across the country. 800,000 federal employees will be off the job, no paychecks. Service members also wouldn't get paid, but essential military operations will continue. Kenneth Moton, ABC News, Washington.
People on the Suncoast are keeping a close eye on the possibility of a government shutdown. Jerry Zivick of Lakewood Ranch is a Social Security and government benefits consultant. He says previous federal shutdowns have caused a ripple effect across society. Congress has allowed the government to shut down a dozen times in the past 35 years, including for 16 days 4 years ago.
Back in 2013, which they estimate if it would have gone on for another day or two, people's retirement benefits from Social Security would not have been paid. And it's a situation too, what if you have a Medicare question? There probably will be nobody to pick up the phone and call to ask a Medicare or Medicaid question. It's terrible. Or what happens if you have a disability claim?
Standard & Poor's estimated the government shutdown in 2013 cost the economy $24 billion. And a Trump administration appointee resigns after past controversial comments are revealed. Carl Higbee stepping down Thursday as Chief of External Affairs for the Corporation for National and Community Service. CNN found in 2013 and 2014, Higbee made a series of derogatory statements about African Americans, gays, immigrants, and Muslims on several radio shows. The former Navy SEAL even went after military veterans, saying those who suffer from severe PTSD have a weak mind or are lying to get benefits. A spokesperson for the agency says Higbee's resignation is effective immediately. Time now to get a check on our weather with meteorologist John Scalzi. The weekend is almost here, and the warm-up is beginning.
It already is.
Yeah.
We're already warmer than we were yesterday, and we are on our way to being about 10 degrees warmer than yesterday. It's still about 10 degrees below average, though.
Yeah.
Still kind of chilly outside for a lot of folks, I guess, like jackets or whatever. I love it myself. I think it's just the perfect weather.
It's invigorating.
I think so.
Yeah.
I just really like this. And the good news is I can finally uncover the plants and put the orchids back out. Things look pretty good for the next couple of days. Casey Key webcam put it into motion, showing dawn rising on the Sun Coast. A little bit of cloud cover out there. You know what? We had a little more moisture in the air, a little bit of cloud cover around, and that kept us from freezing this morning. Forecast verified pretty nicely, actually. Most people escaped any freezing temperatures. In fact, places inland, looking at some agricultural thermometers in and around Ona and Wauchula, around in there in Arcadia, that were yesterday in the morning at about 3 to 7 a.m. at 25 degrees, were at 35 degrees this morning, so pretty nice. We have 64 degrees anticipated by around 3 o'clock. By 7 o'clock this evening, should be a nice evening. Temperatures won't fall off quite as quickly. They'll be at around the 60s this evening for your outside walking or perhaps some outside dining. Should be fine. Maybe a light sweater might be required. And then as we head into the midnight hour, you can be resting assured there'll be no freeze tonight. Complete forecast for the weekend in a sec. Back to you.
All right, John, thank you. ABC 7 business commentator Jeff Stern joins us now with a check on Wall Street so far today. And Jeff, it's been a short week of trading, but the markets have been going higher again.
Scott, that's right. Monday we were off, so we started Tuesday. Dow Jones Industrial Average up about 0.75 for the week so far, while NASDAQ's about 0.5%. S&P right around 0.25% for the week so far for the year. The the NASDAQ's leading about 6.5% for the year, Dow 5.5% or so, and the S&P is trailing just a little bit, about 4.5%. We know that we heard earlier with the government shutdown, but the markets seem not to be bothered. They've been treading higher ever since we started 2018. The 10-year Treasury is trading right around 2.63. That's just inching up. And oil, about $63 a barrel. That's been rising as well. Well, we know the futures have been mixed this week, but this morning when I woke up to that cold weather, I looked and they were positive. So let's see how we're currently trading. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 41 points, 25,976.16% in the negative. NASDAQ's actually positive, almost 14 points to 7,309. S&P positive as well, 2,800, up almost 3 points, 0.1% in the positive.
Well, Jeff, oil has been trending higher. What role does the United States have in oil prices going forward?
That's a great question, Scott. We know, like I mentioned, oil is trading around $63 a barrel. Let's not forget 2016 wasn't that long ago at $26 a barrel. With this explosive increase, the U.S. production really could pass Saudi Arabia this year and give Russia a big challenge for the top producer overall for all the countries. This year should be a record-setting year for the U.S. in the oil space, looking about 10.4 million barrels and rising. Major producers and OPEC have tried to cut production in 2016 as well as 2017, but with the U.S. producing so much oil, they actually offset those cuts by about 60%. Oil dropped actually about 1% on this news because the U.S. is having a lot of production and really increasing the supply. And as we know, oil bases a lot of it on supply and demand. So the U.S. is really could be the #1 producer of oil soon, which means we're going to be able to have the price of oil a little more smooth, not as dependent upon other countries as far as Saudi Arabia and Russia to really control the oil price, which is really good for everybody. We know a lot of the oil companies, Scott, have big dividends. They haven't been performing as well over the last couple of years. So before you go out and run and buy ExxonMobil and Chevron and all those companies, make sure they fit your overall portfolio. But as far as U.S. and oil producer, they're really going to control the price on oil coming up.
Okay. Jeff, thanks so much.
Have a great weekend, Scott.
You too. Still to come in your Suncoast News, we'll have some tips on how to reduce that sore back, lower back pain. It's a problem for so many. And new details on the parents that held their 13 kids captive in California. I'll show you what their house looked like from the inside.
The ABC 7 Stock Report is brought to you by Sunset Cadillac.
I just need a second.
Is your weight holding you back and affecting your health?
Did you see this? Your cousin had a heart attack.
Really?
Excess weight or obesity can be serious, but you can do something about it. Visit yourweightmatters.org. Download the free toolkit to prepare you to speak with a healthcare provider. Your weight does matter. Accept the challenge and take charge today. Visit yourweightmatters.org.
There's nothing like this trail in Alabama. It just goes from the northern part of the state to the southern part of the state. We see all kind of different terrains, great value, great fun. We've been coming for 18 years. We started off with a group of 8, grew to 12, and grew to 16. And we love it because where else can you get world-class golf courses with world-class accommodations? To be able to play these type of courses in this environment, and the difficulty keeps us coming back over and over and over again.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Around the neighborhood or around town, you'll feel good and look even better driving your new Fiat. For maximum performance, check out the all-new Fiat Spider. You'll flip over the superior handling and capability, or follow roads less traveled in the Fiat 500X. So go big or go small. With prices starting as low as $13,999, you're sure to find a Fiat that fits your style during the Start Something New event, going on now at Sunset Fiat of Sarasota.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help. With Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
ABC 7, your official Florida lottery station for the Suncoast. Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So this is a nice map to look at. Temperatures near the 60-degree mark most everywhere. Still going to be below average. Average will be about 71 degrees, give or take a degree at this time of year. But you know, we're going to be pretty close to a comfortable value for most people across the Suncoast, 64, 65 degrees for a daytime high, with not as much wind as we had yesterday and plenty of sunshine. So I think a lot of folks will think that it feels pretty good, and even those who do require maybe a little light jacket or sweater will still, I think, feel that it's a lot better than yesterday. Tomorrow will be even better still if these temperatures are a little too cold for you. Across the region, our Futurecast put into motion, take it in through the evening hours, and lots of sunshine around. Should be a nice sunset. We have high-level streaming clouds kind of flying by from time to time across the Suncoast. And those are the kind of clouds that really make for a spectacular sunset. They're high enough, they let the colored light come through, and yet there's still something there to reflect that colored light. So it should be beautiful tonight, I think. Then as we head into the overnight, the good news is, despite the fact that we may cloud up a little bit, I think we will likely see some temperatures that'll be very mild indeed, and some folks may even be able to switch off the heaters tonight. Still a little on the cool side in terms of our averages overnight, coming in the 50s, but still I think that there's not any chance whatsoever of a freeze tonight. Saturday, you know, we'll be beating back the clouds from time to time, but again, these are high-level clouds, so they'll still let the sun shine through. It'll still be okay. Even though it looks like it's a massive amount of cloud, you'll still get a fair amount of sunshine as well. At times, maybe the sky will have a somewhat milky appearance to it, but this should be a rain-free sky. You really got to go all the way back toward the Texas coastline to find rain around here, or maybe a few showers down around the Florida Straits. But other than that, we're going to be dry today. These clouds riding on a very active flow at about 300 millibars. I mean, way up in the sky, 40,000 feet, these clouds are streaming past. Below this, there's some pretty dry air here, indicated by this kind of tan colorization. And so these clouds are not going to be rain producers. That's just not going to happen. Planner for today, by 3 p.m., we're at 64. By about 7 o'clock tonight, 54 degrees should do it. clear skies, maybe a few fair weather clouds. Clouds building as we head into the overnight hours. 48 by midnight, and we'll get into the mid-40s for the overnight low, coming in at about 46 by about 7 o'clock in the morning. Nice couple of days in store for you with temperatures rising across the region. High pressure, the dominant weather feature. We'll watch that move out to the Atlantic and our winds start to shift to the east. As that happens, things become very mild around here and we return to temperatures that are more seasonable. North wind coming in at about 5 to 10, moderate chop with 2-foot seas, and the forecast looks like this. For today, we'll have a daytime high of about 64, cool but not cold, we'll call it. Then tomorrow and Sunday, nice mild temperatures in the 70s, about where we should be, overnight lows in the 50s. And then next week, another front will approach that'll bring us somewhat unsettled weather as it stalls just to our south. Still a lot of sunshine around, still not much in the way of any kind of cold air associated with this front, just slight chances for some really much needed rainfall. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. Lower back pain can be a major pain to deal with. You can try over-the-counter meds to help, but if you're not too keen on taking pills every ache and pain, well, there are a few overlooked remedies that can offer some relief. According to spinehealth.com, releasing endorphins like during a workout is a great way to treat your back pain. They can help block pain signals from registering to your brain. Exercising your core plays a key role in supporting your lower spine. If you can't fit in a quick workout, try sitting on an exercise ball while at work. And cold and hot packs are also great for pain relief. They help reduce inflammation, which can lead to back pain. And hot packs help stimulate blood flow, which can bring healing nutrients to the affected area. Time now to check in with ABC 7 Culinary Director Judy Gallagher, who's joining us live today from By the Bay Bistro in Osprey. Hi, Judy.
I am so happy to be here down in Osprey at By the Bay Bistro and thankful for the owners who shot me an email and invited me in for a cappuccino. Thank you. Some hot chocolate and such a surprisingly delicious array of bagels and salads and sandwiches. This is the cutest little shop and it just reminds me a little bit of Europe and a little bit of just hometown. I always say every hometown needs those local little places, and this is exactly that. So stay with me throughout the hour as we come from Osprey at By the Bay Bistro. You are gonna love this little gem, and there is a rumor that there is real homemade apple pie baked just for our segment. I'll be back in just a few minutes to meet the owner and tell you more.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
My name is Stefan Campagna. We're Ben Gates and Dramus, and here is your law tip of the week. If you've been injured in a car accident, the state of Florida only gives you a specific amount of time to file a claim. So act now, give us a call.
SRQ Performance Parts provides parts and accessories from over 300 manufacturers, so you can get that new manifold, carburetor, gasket, bolt kit, or nitrous oxide system fast. We'll help you beat the competition. Call or visit SRQ Performance Parts online today for all your high-performance parts and advice.
Start the year off with big savings during the Start Something New event at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Get a brand new Jeep Renegade for as little as $15,999. Find the path to your next great adventure in the all-new Jeep Compass for just $18,999. Or be one of the first to drive away in a 2018 Jeep Cherokee for as little as $19,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, restaurant guide, and more. Go to mysuncoast.com/dining.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, AND services.com.
You do, don't you? Marcia joins us now with Ben. And Ben, finally, a dog that likes the treats I have. Thank you, Ben.
That's good. We were kind of thinking it might be you.
Yes, maybe what was going on there. These are supposed to be good dog treats. Ben is a beautiful dog.
Isn't he, though? We're just so proud to present him today. I call him Benny, and Benny is being presented today by the Akita Rescue Society of Florida. But we have had him up at Dante's Den for 2 weeks, and you talk about a playful dog.
Yep.
He's, you know, remember the song Happy?
Yes.
Okay, he could sing it, he could dance to it. He is just a happy, happy boy.
How young?
He's about 6 years, we estimate.
Full of energy, though, huh?
Yes, and sweet and happy. I mean, he gets up in the morning, he's ready to go.
Looks like he's been very well cared for. I mean, he's got just the perfect weight, he looks like.
Yes, he's about 85 pounds, and that's about standard for an Akita like this. And we just can't say how much we love him, and he loves us. He would like to be a lap dog, however. You need a big lap.
That's good. That's good.
And he
I like
loves to
that.
play. He loves to play with tennis balls. He'll chase them, bring them back to you, and after about 4 times when he's saying you should go for him, then he drops them at your feet. Loves to ride in a car, loves to ride on a golf cart.
Oh,
he just
really?
is a great
that's
navigator.
fun.
Yeah, he
Health
just
issues? Any health issues?
None that we know
No
of.
sociability issues?
No,
All good?
He loves everybody and is happy with everybody.
What
yeah.
a sweet dog.
Yeah.
And the process of adoption is?
Well, you certainly can fill out an application with Florida Akita Rescue, and you can give them a call at 603-289-8899.
How's it with the other animals out there?
You know, he's nonplussed.
Yep.
He knows that he's the king.
Yep.
Things are good.
He's just fine with everybody.
Yes, he just kind of looks over his kingdom and says, "Okay, here I am."
Just a chill spirit.
Yes.
All right.
He's great.
He's looking for a home, and would he make a good addition to anybody's family? So give him a call, and hopefully you'll be able to take him home in time for the weekend. There's the number on your screen, 603-289-8899. Marcia, thank you so very much. I hope you find a home soon. You are a sweetheart.
And he's loving this weather, you know.
He's a doll.
Yeah.
Scott?
John, Marcia, thank you both. The rabbit whose rescue was caught in a viral video during California's Thomas Fire is back in the wild. The bunny has been recovering at the California Wildlife Center in Malibu. The center's director of animal care says it had burns on all 4 feet and its ears, but the furry little guy is expected to be fine. The center said in a tweet that the rabbit was released near the spot where it was rescued, and it is now a good place for a bunny to thrive. Well, a frightening boat crash caught on camera last August has now led to a lawsuit. You can see 3 fishermen jumping out of their boat at the last second before a much larger boat crashes into their small fishing boat. The 3 fishermen were injured, but authorities say they would have been killed if not for going overboard. Now one of the fishermen is suing, alleging the motorboat driver of using his cell phone while driving, which the driver claims he was not doing. A winter storm in the Netherlands is quite literally making people fall over. A Twitter user Thursday caught the moment. Fierce winds toppled over a few people, causing them to slide and roll on the ground. The code red storm affecting other parts of Europe as well, especially Germany, canceling flights and shutting down trains as well. ABC 7's Judy Gallagher is enjoying lunch today at the By the Bay Bistro in Osprey. Let's get back to her live. Judy?
I want you to meet Susan, the proprietor, who has brought us this lovely little bistro. Susan, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for coming, and I'd like to welcome the viewers today to the bistro here at the Bay Street Plaza.
You've done such a lovely job, and it really is kind of a joint family business and how you've brought it. Talk to us a little bit about your history and what brought you to Osprey to open up the shop.
Yes, I grew up in Illinois, and then I went to Germany to work in advertising, and I met my husband over there. I lived in Germany for almost 25 years, and both our children were born over there, and so I do have a a German European background. And then we moved to Osprey in 2012. And I've always kind of wanted to open a little cafe, and the time was never right, but when the opportunity presented itself here in this plaza, we jumped at the chance. And our thoughts were to do a little cafe which combines traditional coffees and espresso-based beverages and very authentic pastries, breads, for using when we make the sandwiches.
Now, you mentioned the authentic pastries, and you actually have them certain things shipped in specifically. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yes, we do. We get our pretzels from Germany, and the croissants that we served filled and plain come from Belgium, and the Danishes we have come from France and Denmark. And then we also have authentic New York bagels. So we try, like I said, to be very authentic in providing the taste experience throughout many countries of Europe and the U.S. then.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the barista, because she is wonderful. Quickly tell us.
Yes, one of our baristas used to work in Hawaii, and that's where she kind of learned her skills. And when she heard I was opening a coffee shop, I invited her to come on board, because never having done anything like this, I really wanted somebody to like walk me through it and help us with that aspect of the business. So,
well, let me tell you, she makes a really mean hot chocolate and a cappuccino, and we're going to get to that in just a few minutes. Susan, stay right here, because I'm going to sip on my hot chocolate, and we're going to come back and talk about the delicious sandwiches and more that's right here on the table. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Motor Trend said the new Alfa Romeo Giulia is hands down the best sports sedan you can buy today, and named it the 2018 Motor Trend Car of the Year. Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Selfless service is the principle that guides Army National Guard soldiers to be ready whenever disaster strikes. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times. Selfless service. It's what inspires the men and women of the Army National Guard to be part of something greater than themselves. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Yeah, they've all ethnic background from different places, community and out of state. And we're coming together to learn how to release, restore, and improve our status in Jesus Christ.
It just brings all of us women together. We're going through like problems. We're able to establish friendships. Sisterhoods are formed.
Sunday morning at 7:30 on ABC 7.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
When evaluating the Alfa Romeo Stelvio, Car and Driver magazine said every crossover should be this good to drive. We agree. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Live from our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is ABC 7 News at noon. your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. A 19-year-old case coming to an end in Charlotte County. Melissa Harding Jones will serve no prison time for her role in the 1999 death of 3-year-old Pilar Rodriguez. Instead, she's sentenced to 12 years of probation. Harding Jones's boyfriend at that time, Keith Wilson, was sentenced to life in prison for the girl's murder last year. A Manatee County jury convicts a man for attempted murder. Last June, Mauro Ramirez shot the victim in the face in front of the El Paisanos in East Bradenton. A sentencing date has not been set for Ramirez, who faces at least 25 years in prison. Prosecutors say the children held captive by David and Louise Turpin schemed for 2 years on a plan that led to Sunday's escape of one 17-year-old. ABC's Matt Gutman shows us what happened in court.
In an interview overnight, the district attorney here told me that the abuse that happened in that house was off the charts sadistic. David and Louise Turpin now facing 75 counts, which could land them in prison for the rest of their lives if they're convicted, are accused of systematically starving their children, torturing them, chaining them to bed, sometimes for months at a time, for infractions as small as washing their hands above the wrist. They're allowed to bathe apparently only once a year. They have vampire hours, sleeping during the day. They were up during the night, forced to march in circles for hours on end. And right now we also know that they were deprived of almost everything. They were taunted with food that they couldn't eat, like pumpkin and apple pie. But the one thing that they were allowed to do was write in journals. And investigators tell me that that is going to be key in determining the outcome of this trial. So much of the evidence is going to come from the writings of those children. One of the things that gives investigators and doctors hope is the grit that was displayed by that 17-year-old girl who managed to get away from that house. She had been apparently planning it for over 2 years. One of the siblings that was going to do it with her got cold feet and turned back around because they were so afraid of punishment. But that 17-year-old managed to alert authorities, and they say possibly save her siblings from a slow death from starvation. Matt Gutman, ABC News, Paris, California.
A follow-up now on the deadly winter storm from the south to the northeast, where at least 15 people have died from the snow and cold. The roads slick with ice. Some expressways were closed as far south as Tampa, where the Veterans Expressway was closed due to so-called black ice after a water truck leaked. Many of the car crashes were in the south, where there are fewer snow plows and salt trucks to assist with those icy conditions. Hundreds of weather delays continue at airports. In North Carolina, reported more than 2,300 crashes. If you're traveling north this weekend, be sure to take it slow and allow for some extra time. Despite this week's cold weather, new numbers are in for 2017, and experts say it was one of the hottest years on record. Yet another. According to NASA's record books, it was the second warmest year, and NOAA says it was the third warmest. The two agencies have studied temperatures around the world going back to around 1880, and they say their varying findings comes down to the different methods they use to analyze global temperatures. But we know the last few years have all been right near the top of the record books.
Oh, last 5 years, we've had record-breaking years, the last 3 of those 5 years. Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I think this is a good example of how, you know, you look at these global temperature records for a whole year and you assess them compared to how previous years have been and you rank them. And within that framework, you can still have cold days and cold snaps and big snows that move through, because those are temporary individual weather events, not long-term climatological averages. And that's an important thing to differentiate, I think. And some people get confused by that.
Okay.
So anyway, it's not too warm today, but it will be tomorrow. That's how it works in weather. One day's cold, one day's not so cold. Here's your comfort index for today. We'll put it at about a 7 out of 10. The problem being, of course, the temperature, which is running around 10 degrees below average. Nevertheless, lots of sunshine around, and lots of people think that feels pretty comfortable, 64 degrees. A lot of people don't too, but as we head into the evening hours, I can assure you one thing: we will not have a freeze around here. Temperatures overnight tonight will be in the 40s, and by the time we get into the evening hours, around 7 o'clock, a lot of people taking their walks and such, it'll be in the 60s, low 60s, without much of a wind. So it should be nice. It should be a beautiful sunset tonight, Scott.
All right, John, thank you. The Children's Fountain in downtown Venice is open again. Earlier this week, the city had to close the fountain in Centennial Park because of the cold and windy weather. But now that the weather's warming up again, kids are free to go back in and play. The boil water advisory for Venice has been rescinded. Venice city officials have been warning people to boil their water after a water main break in a certain area. But as of 9:30 this morning, that has been lifted. Well, every day in the United States, more than 300 children are treated in emergency rooms because of accidental poisoning by medicine. The group Safe Kids Worldwide surveyed caregivers about storing medications in the home. And they found that for many parents, knowledge does not always translate into behavior. The reason most often cited, having too much to do and too little time.
9 out of 10 parents agree that medicine should be kept up and away, out of sight for kids. However, 7 out of 10 parents report keeping medicine on a counter or on a ledge where kids can easily access them.
Experts say eye-catching colors can appeal to children, and to avoid accidental poisoning, it's recommended parents store all medications out of sight and reach after every single use. Well, new groundbreaking research is raising concerns about a possible threat for young athletes. It concludes that repeated hits to the head may cause the brain disease CTE, even if there's no concussion. ABC's Maggie Rulli has the latest.
A game-changing study showing smaller, repetitive hits to the head, not just concussions, may cause CTE, the degenerative brain disease notoriously plaguing a number of former NFL stars.
The bottom line here really is it's the hits that count, not the concussions.
The stunning new study out of Boston University compared 4 brains of teen athletes with CTE and 4 brains of athletes with no evidence of the condition. While recent major injuries to the athletes played a small role, they found it was the smaller, repetitive hits, known as subconcussive hits, that also played a major role contributing to the crippling brain disease.
I think if he didn't have CTE, he would not have committed suicide.
At just 21 years old, Penn football star Owen Thomas committed suicide. ABC spoke with the family back in 2012.
I was just astounded that they found CTE.
Doctors found he had early stages of the degenerative brain disease, even though he had only suffered subconcussive hits.
It suggests that we don't have to wait years to decades to start seeing this type of injury to the brain.
The risks are not just limited to football. They affect every athlete that plays impact sports, begging the question, should we keep playing these games that we know are dangerous? One of the doctors on the study said their goal is to educate both parents and coaches about a safer way to play, insisting this isn't about killing football, but actually preserving it for the future. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
Now the latest in the gymnastics abuse scandal as more athletes take the stand testifying against Larry Nassar. Team USA is cutting ties now with famed coach Bela Karolyi's training center. More than 150 women have accused the former doctor for the USA gymnastics team and Michigan State University of sexual abuse. Woman after woman came face to face with their abuser, testifying against Nassar in court, leading him to write a 6-page handwritten letter to the court expressing concern about his mental ability to hear from all of these accusers. The judge had this to say.
Spending 4 or 5 days listening to them is significantly minor, considering the hours of pleasure you had at their expense and ruining their lives.
USA Gymnastics announcing yesterday it's cutting ties with the Karolyi Ranch in Texas. The ranch, run by legendary coaches Bela and Marta Karolyi, served as the main training facility for U.S. national team, and several of Nassar's alleged victims say he abused them at Karolyi's facility. A Tampa man is arrested for DUI after he reportedly got his drive-thrus mixed up. The manager at Spring Hills Bank of America called deputies to report an impaired driver after finding Douglas Francisco unconscious behind the wheel in the bank's drive-thru lane where he'd been napping for a bit. The manager was able to wake him up, and as he did, Francisco asked the bank manager for a burrito, thinking he was actually in a Taco Bell drive-thru. Francisco was later found in the parking lot by deputies with oxycodone and Xanax, both of which were prescribed to him. Goodwill Manasota is making moves to improve its veteran services program. The Sarasota Path reporting the nonprofit organization has hired 3 new members to its homeless veterans reintegration program and promoted 2 other existing employees. Goodwill Manasota's Veteran Services Program was created to help eliminate barriers to employment, provide opportunities for higher paying positions for veterans and their families, and connect veterans with needed social services. A neighborhood preserve did not get the votes it needs to stop the possible development of some land. The Bradenton Herald reporting Braden Woods homeowners voted on a measure to buy the property within their neighborhood, but the effort fell short by 46 votes. That means the 33 acres will likely be developed at some point into a gated community. A local nonprofit is calling for a recount, claiming not all homes in the area received one of those mail-in ballots. Let's check in again with Judy Gallagher, who is live today at By the Bay Bistro in Osprey. Judy?
Okay, Susan, let's really get into it now and discuss the beautiful food that you've made for us today, starting with a real New York bagel.
Yes, this is our lox and bagel. That's one of our breakfast items that we have. Now moving over here, we have the Paris. That's a vegetarian option. It features the creamy French brie, topped with arugula and an apricot spread. Then we have the Zurich over here. That's on a pretzel stick. Again, the breads that we use are sourced out of Europe, so the pretzel stick comes from Germany. It features a Black Forest ham and Swiss cheese. Then we have our signature sandwich. That's the most popular one.
I love this sandwich.
This is the Monaco, and as you can tell, we've named all of the this is the Oslo, and we've named all of the sandwiches, bagels, the breakfast items for European cities, major European cities. So the Monaco features oven-roasted turkey, brie cheese, and arugula, as well as dried cranberries on a ciabatta bread.
It is so delicious. And of course, now this is an interesting historic dish, shall we say.
Yes, it is. This is the Berlin, and this is actually street food that you would eat in Berlin. You go to the market and you pick it up and you just kind of eat as you go. And it's a bratwurst, again, sourced out of Germany, with a tangy tomato curry sauce, and it's served with a wedge of baguette.
And on a cool day, yes. Oh, it's going to be perfect.
And this is a Munich. This is a twisted bretzel. That's a German word for pretzel. The bretzel features a homemade cheese spread and the sweet German mustard, and you just kind of dip it into the bread and the mustard. This is our latest creation. This is our new salad. This is a lox on greens, and it features smoked salmon as well as onions, mozzarella cheese, and everything is then topped with everything bagel seasoning.
I love anything that's topped with everything bagel seasoning. This is so delightful. I can't wait to tuck into that bagel and more, but we're coming back. There is a rumor about homemade pie, and I will be the first one to tuck in. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Why settle for less? Get more for your money at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's 2017 most trusted brand, best overall brand, and lowest 5-year cost to own. And Subaru Forester is an IIHS top safety pick for 12 years running. Now lease the most award-winning small SUV, a new Subaru Forester, for just $219 a month. Or get 0% financing with complimentary maintenance included. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Florida Studio Theater presents the 8-time Tony Award winner, Once, held over by popular demand. Captivating and breathtaking, Once is an unforgettable story about going for your dreams and the power of music to connect us all. Critics are calling Once engaging and heartwarming, outstanding, and a flawless production. Audiences are calling it phenomenal and better than Broadway. Once must close January 19th. Tickets can be purchased by calling 941-366-9000 or by visiting floridastudiotheater.org.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Good kisses. Good kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. It was the...
Is that bacon?
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think it up.
Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC 7 shows on your streaming device. Now, your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we're looking at a temperature outside that's reflective of the sunshine we've been getting, boosted now to 58 degrees, on its way to a nice temperature in the mid-70s. Not quite, mid-60s. We'll see 70s tomorrow. We're looking at dew point value coming in at 39. That also has risen just a little bit. I mean, it wasn't too many days ago, 2 days ago, when the dew points were in the teens. So a dew point value that has risen to 39 degrees feels comfortable when it's heated. It's not terrible, not terribly dry. And a lot of people I know have had some sinus issues because of the heated air really drying things out in their homes. East wind coming in at 7, fair amount of sunshine out there, boosting 3 p.m. temperatures to about 64. Then as we head into the afternoon, we'll see those temperatures start to decline, but not as fast as they have over the last several days because of that dew point. The dew point value keeping the nighttime temperatures a little bit warmer, the air retaining its heat a little more effectively. All in all, bringing us a fairly pleasant evening temperature in the 50s. I think for your walk outside tonight, maybe see the sunset, walk the dog, enjoy the beach, whatever. Temperatures will be very comfortable if you're wearing a light jacket or maybe a sweater. And the sunset should be beautiful with these high clouds streaming by. Tomorrow morning, I think we might be a little bit more cloudy, might be kind of a somewhat dimmed sun by the cloud cover that's around. But you know, it'll be periods of cloudiness followed by periods of not so much cloud. We have a little bit of rain shower activity down around the Florida Straits and also back toward the Texas Panhandle, really stretching from Houston all the way down to the border with Mexico. We're seeing some showers here. That's a low pressure area that really isn't going to bother us. It's going to lift to the north, so no worries with that. But we have a very active southern branch jet stream, and that's really streaming in the high level clouds. These are very high, thin clouds that don't mean we're about to get any rainfall. You know, sometimes you see these high level cirrus clouds come through and you think, we got a front on the way and that's going to produce some rainfall. No, that's not what's happening here. We will see very pleasant conditions all through the weekend despite a little bit of high level cloudiness. High pressure, the dominant weather feature for us, sitting over the deep south, kind of migrating toward the east. As it does that, we'll start to see these winds, which have been northeast, shift a little more easterly, and that will tend to warm us up. In fact, the warming trend has already started, and we're headed toward a very nice afternoon. No freeze tonight, maybe a few showers possible next weekend. If you're traveling this weekend, the west will be the hot spot for travel delays. Around the Denver area, that's where you're going to see some snow falling due to a low pressure area. North wind coming in at about 5 to 10, increasing to 10 during the overnight. Moderate chop, decreasing to a light chop. And the forecast looks pretty darn good, actually. Cool 64 today. Nighttime low not freezing. Tomorrow 70, day after 73. And then that front back to the west kind of approaches us and comes through in a very weakened form. Doesn't really cool us off, but gives us chances of rain. Updated the forecast for the weekend with a city-by-city nighttime lows forecast on your weather app. ABC 7 Weather on the App Store. Back to you.
Okay, John, thank you. In consumer news, Wells Fargo is apologizing again, this time for a glitch that drained some customer accounts by double paying their bills online. The banking giant says the processing error that caused the double posting of some items was fixed overnight. Angry customers slammed Wells Fargo on Twitter, saying their accounts became overdrawn. The company said it would refund any related fees or charges. It's just the latest embarrassment for Wells Fargo, which is trying to repair its reputation and image after a year of scandals. Well, you've heard of facial recognition on the latest iPhone and other gadgets. Now British Airways is using the same technology to get people on their flights quicker. The new technology premiering at LAX for international flights. Using facial recognition technology, passengers can get on board 5 at a time without using a boarding pass. The technology can recognize your face through passport, visa, or government ID photos already in the system. To get through, you simply stand on a mat and the gate opens if you're approved. Speaking of facial recognition, you may have heard of the Google FacePrint, matching you with a look-alike piece of art. It's shot to #1 in the App Store. More than 30 million matches have been made so far, including Some of ABC7's Ray Collins, Stephanie Webb, and myself, but now some are raising concerns over what Google may be using with all of that data. Actress Alyssa Milano tweeted, "Anyone suspicious of just surrendering your facial recognition to Google, or are we confident that they already have it at this point?"
Even if the photo is deleted and the picture gone, that data, the mathematical face print of you, might survive well into the future.
The feature is currently only available in the United States, but not in Texas or Illinois, two states that have strict laws about facial recognition technology. Still to come in your Suncoast News, people who live near the Hollywood sign have been complaining for years about the foot traffic there. Now city officials are coming up with some solutions. One of them, a second Hollywood sign. We'll have the latest coming up.
You can do something about a crime, any crime, and you can receive a reward of up to $3,000 cash. Call Crime Stoppers with information about criminal activity, unsolved crimes, drug dealers, fugitive criminals, stolen property, illegal weapons. Call 366-TIPS. You will remain anonymous. Visit SarasotaCrimeStoppers.com. Download the Crime Stoppers P3 mobile app from the Apple iTunes Store or Google Play. Call Crime Stoppers 366-TIPS. Paid for by the Attorney General's Office, Crime Stoppers Trust Fund.
Around the neighborhood or around town, you'll feel good and look even better driving your new Fiat. For maximum performance, check out the all-new Fiat Spider. You'll flip over the superior handling and capability. Or follow roads less traveled in the Fiat 500X. So go big or go small. With prices starting as low as $13,999, you're sure to find a Fiat that fits your style during the Start Something New event, going on now at Sunset Fiat of Sarasota.
Are you a food lover, restaurant goer, or home cook? Then check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, and helpful step-by-step videos. And you'll love the restaurant guide with direct links to your favorite Suncoast eateries. Whether you're cooking in or dining out, whet your appetite with tasty tips from Chef Judy at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Letting my friends online know I was quitting kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it. You can too.
For free help, visit cdc.gov/tips.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
Okay, Susan, it's a quick turn on dessert. Tell me what you made.
All right, here we have our desserts. This is our almond-filled croissant and some of the Danishes, blackberry cream, and this is our newest one. It's a pain au chocolat with bars of Belgian chocolate in it.
And this drink?
This drink is an iced cafe. It's vanilla ice cream topped with chilled coffee. And all of the coffee that we use here is locally roasted, and we also have teas that are also locally sourced.
And now the pie.
Yes.
You talk, I'll eat.
Okay, you eat. It's a very flaky crust. The pie is something we plan to offer in the future, doing seasonal pies of the month, apple. Fruit pies, basically cherry pies. And so that's something that we're looking at to offer in the future.
I can't think of a better thing to start your morning with a delicious bagel and lox and a cappuccino, and then come back for pie and one of your coffee drinks.
Yes.
It's been a wonderful visit here. I want to thank you so much.
Thank you again for coming, yes.
It's really nice to see Osprey blooming and new businesses are coming in. And certainly, By the Bay Bistro is one of those. Have a great weekend, everybody, and enjoy your cappuccino and pie.
Judy, thank you so much. Well, there's talk of building a second Hollywood sign. The sign draws a ton of tourists, of course, and locals have complained for years about all the traffic, noise, and trash left behind. The city commissioned a study on how to deal with it. A consulting firm released a series of recommendations to improve safety, traffic, and tourist access around the iconic landmark. They include replicating the Hollywood sign on the other side of the mountain, building an aerial tram, and developing a shuttle service up Beechwood Canyon, although it's going to take some money. Yeah, to make that happen. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone.
Motor Trend said the new Alfa Romeo Giulia is hands down the best sports sedan you can buy today. And named it the 2018 Motor Trend Car of the Year. Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
Why settle for less? Get more for your money at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's 2017 most trusted brand, best overall brand, and lowest 5-year cost to own. And Subaru Impreza is an IIHS top safety pick for 11 years running. Lease the all-new Subaru Impreza for just $185 a month, or get 0% financing and 0 down with complimentary maintenance included. That's right, not 1 penny down. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.